All right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Pierce. It is Wednesday. You know what that means? It is Wanderlust Wednesday, where we throw stuff at you that maybe you haven't heard before, or it's been a long time since you heard it, or just, I don't know, maybe you know it. You'll just be like, Mark, I know this one. And today's topic is all over the place. This thing has so many twists and turns. It's a roller coaster ride of tangents. I'm going to try to get through it in a timely fashion. I don't know if I can. So let's get to it. We're going back to 1988. We're doing a soundtrack. Haven't done a lot of soundtracks in the cave. There's a ton of them on my list. We need to do more. So what are we doing? We are doing a Wanderlust Wednesday with the John Hughes film, She's Having a Baby, 1988. You're saying, John Hughes, Mark, that's not Wanderlust. Everyone knows who he is. But do you? I mean, first you think this, right? 16 Candles, of course. Then what do? Breakfast Club. Sure. Yeah, love it. Then Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Of course, John Hughes. Love it. Next up, Weird Science. This one doesn't get enough attention. Love this movie. Love it. Then there's all these other movies, but you gotta dig really, really deep for She's Having a Baby, right? Do you guys, anyone remember this movie? Some of you do, I know you do, but Kevin Bacon? What? Yes, this movie, I think it's just a forgotten movie. Like I said, Fletcher agrees. He says, I can't believe it's forgotten. Kevin Bacon, Elizabeth McGovern, she was in Ordinary People in Ragtime. Alec Baldwin, Holland Taylor, John David Ashton. He has a great role in here. He was in Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2. Some Kind of Wonderful. He plays the dad. Another movie we could talk about. Love that movie. Some great songs in that one. And Midnight Run. Right? Was he in that one? Anyway. Then what? You got Bill Irvin. He played Sid in Seinfeld later on, which would earn him a nomination for an Emmy. Paul Gleason. Who's Paul Gleason? He was in The Breakfast Club. That's Richard Vernon, the principal. Mess with the bull, you get the horns. Does Barry Manilow know? You raid his wardrobe? That's the same guy. He also played that jerk in Die Hard, Dwayne T. Robinson, the assistant police chief, right? So anyway, this movie is about a couple from the day of their wedding till the day of their first child being born. And it's just a great movie. It's funny, it's serious, it's got a little bit of everything. It's a great John Hughes movie. I mean, if you haven't seen this one, you got to watch it. And if you haven't watched it in a long time, you got to check it out. And you got to watch the whole thing, because at the end, in the credits, I'm not, spoiler alert, they're trying to figure out what to name the baby. And they just go through all these stars throwing names out, crazy names, as suggestions. You got Kirstie Alley, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Matthew Broderick, John Candy, Dan Aykroyd, Diane Cannon, Stuart Copeland, drummer for the Police, Woody Allen, Olivia Newton-John, Roy Orbison, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Warren Zevon. I mean, the list is huge, right? They're all do cameos as themselves in there. It's pretty funny. But this movie is really, really fun. So what are we doing, Mark? We're at almost 4 minutes and you haven't even touched the songs. Okay, first song, David Wakeling, She's Having a Baby, the title theme song. Dave Wakeling, who's that? Founder of the English Beat and in General Public. General Public, you say? Mark, where do I know that from? The song Tenderness in the movie Weird Science. See what I'm saying here? Love that song, Tenderness. Anyway, and English Beat, of course, love them. I just listened to them. I just heard them on the way in. Mirror in the Bathroom, and they do. Yeah, Mirror in the Bathroom. Anyway, Haunted When the Minutes Drag. Love and Rockets. Remember Love and Rockets? That huge hit, So Alive, No New Tale to Tell, and Ball of Confusion. We're gonna do a Wednesday on Love and Rockets. A lot of these songs are making me say, these are all people I can do on a Wednesday solo. Next up, Desire by Gene Loves Jezebel. Who remembers my episode on Gene Loves Jezebel? I'm like the only guy on the planet with this many Gene Loves Jezebel CDs, right? Huge fan of Gene Loves Jezebel, and that's a great song. Next up, Happy Families, XTC. We talked about XTC recently, another band that we could go into. And of course, the song Dear God, the first song I ever heard from them. This is a fun song on this record. All right, next up, Crazy Love by Brian Ferry. Yes, Crazy Love, originally Van Morrison, but guess what? The first time I ever heard this song was Brian Ferry's version. I didn't know there was a Van Morrison one. I thought it was his song. And Brian Ferry, of course, famously with Roxy Music, the song Avalon, More Than This, Love Is the Drug. We had to talk about Love Is the Drug. Love Is the Drug is a Talking Heads song, right? I mean, when you hear it, you're like, this is a Talking Heads, right? I mean, so play yourself Love Is the Drug if you don't know it, and you're going to be like, how's that not Talking Heads? Next up, You Just Haven't Earned It Yet, Baby by Kirsty MacColl. Great song. That's a fun song. It's good. It's a good song. All right, now we're getting to a good one here. Apron Strings by Everything But the Girl. This song, Apron Strings, so good. I mean, it's like a slow song, but it is one of my favorites on the whole record. This band was huge out of the UK. They kind of did their thing in the late 80s, and then they ended up reinventing themselves. They put out an acoustic record that I got a copy of in the early 90s, I think. And they did covers of Tougher Than the Rest from Springsteen, Allison. They did Allison of Elvis Costello, and they did Time After Time, Cyndi Lauper as highlights. And if you don't know these versions of these songs, they are really, really good. So, Everything But the Girl, acoustic, check those out. But this song, Apron Strings, is one of my favorites on there. Great song. Speaking of great songs, the next one, oh my gosh, the next one, This Woman's Work by Kate Bush. We've covered Kate Bush too. This is an awesome song. This is like the climax of the movie. There's so much drama going on, and she wrote this specifically for this movie, written from his point of view on the day of the birth of his child, and there's a lot of trouble happening medically, and he's in tears, and the parents are in tears, and you're in tears. I mean, this song is just so heart-wrenching. It's amazing. I mean, it just gives you chills when you hear it. And there's a lot to love about this song. And if you don't know This Woman's Work, play it today. All right, we're getting there. 7 minutes. It's All in the Game by Carmel. All right, It's All in the Game. Sound familiar? Tommy Edwards, 1958, is the most successful version. It's been covered dozens and dozens of times. 1958. It was co-written by Charles G. Dawes, who would later become vice president under Calvin Coolidge. So that makes him the only vice president and Nobel Peace Prize laureate, either or, to have a #1 single in the United States. How about that? And this is Carmel is like a jazz soul group, and they do a different take on it, but I like it. Of course, I'd never heard the other version. This is the only version that I knew, and I like this song. All right. Full of Love by Dr. Calculus. What? Dr. Calculus, you say? That's Stephen Duffy Project. He was the original singer and drummer in Duran Duran before they got started, and he did a bunch of other stuff later. He was in the Lilac Time with his brother. But this thing was like a 45-minute, non-stop, chill house music record. Like probably one of the first ones ever. If you go back to 1988, you're thinking, this is going on to more Chiba and all these other bands. But before that, there was Dr. Calculus, and this is a funky song, Full of Love. That I like it. I like it because I know the movie, but it's fun and it's cool. So anyway, we're at 8.5 minutes. That is She's Having a Baby soundtrack. I think I got them all. I think we covered them all. But that's your assignment today, to listen to the soundtrack. Now, it may not mean anything to you because maybe you haven't watched the movie. So there's your other assignment, is to watch She's Having a Baby and comment below if you remember it, if you watch it, whatever. But there's some fun stuff on here. So give a listen. You got a lot of work to do today. Wanderlust Wednesday in the book at 9 minutes. All right, that's the best I could do. Have a great day, and as usual, I'll catch you on the flip side.